Hi, so I'm going to be going over question number 2 on fractions, the section on fractions on your quiz review. Someone asked me about this. And I think what's the problem is that you're confusing adding and subtracting fractions with clearing fractions. Clearing fractions can only be done if you have an equation. Now, remember, we've talked a lot in class about the difference between an expression, an equation, and a function. So if I gave you something simple like 1/2 x equals 25, that's an equation. So yes, I can clear fractions by multiplying both sides by 2 because whatever I'm doing to one side, I'm also doing to the other. So it's balancing the equation out. If it's an expression, we don't solve expressions. We simplify them. So that means you have to add or subtract like you would add or subtract fractions. Now, this one was a little tricky, and this doesn't have to be the way you do it, but I found it to be easier if I grouped things using the associative property. And meaning, I knew that these were like terms because they both had x, and I knew these were like terms because they both had x squared, so I put them together with parentheses. So I just reordered them. So 3x over 5 plus x over 4, and I looked at it as one expression, okay? And then I had minus 5x squared over 8 and minus x squared over 24, okay? And so I kind of grouped them together. So this would be plus that, okay? Now I put plus in front of it to make this a little bit easier to see. Okay, so how do we add or subtract fractions? We find a common denominator. The common denominator would be 20 for this set of parentheses, okay? All right, so we'd be multiplying this by 4 over 4, giving me 12x over 20, plus this one we'd be multiplying by 5 over 5, so 5x over 20. When we have the common denominator, we add the numerators and keep the denominator. So 17x over 20. The other side, the common denominator would be 24. So this would become, we'd multiply this by 3 over 3, giving me negative 15x squared minus x squared. If I simplified that, that would become negative 16x squared over 24. Okay, now I looked at that and I knew that that simplified. 8 went into both of those. So I put 8 into 16 twice and 8 into 24 3 times. So it gave me then 17x over 20. So plus minus becomes minus 2x squared over 3. Okay, I'm not done because I'm still simplifying. I want this as one expression. So I need a common denominator between these two, but it's much easier this way. So my common denominator would be, I think it's 60, all right? So I multiplied this by 3 over 3. So 17 times 3 is 51. So 51x. And over here I'd be multiplying by 20. So that would give me 40x squared. All right? And so now I'm ready to combine them. So 51x minus 40x squared all over 60. And that is your answer. Again, this was different because you had an expression, not an equation, so you could not clear fractions. If there's any questions on that, I'll be available tomorrow morning before school. Have a great day.